So I didn't make a post yesterday. Very good reasons for that. But that's okay, you know? But I'm happy to see you guys' faces today. And I'm happy to share something the Lord has put on my heart. So I kind of woke up. I was kind of wound up last night. Whoops. I was kind of, wound up last night, really, really talking to God. And then this morning, kind of wound up talking to God. Started my day a little bit later, but that's okay, you know, it's still early. Plenty to get done. And so I'm not sure exactly what God has in store for today. I'm not exactly sure what He wants me to share for you. But I can definitely pull out the Bible. Because why not? We love the Bible. And just see what the Lord has in store. I'm thinking maybe a psalm. Just read a quiet psalm and start this morning and just share and reflect a little bit. And then send you guys on your way and, catch up later tonight maybe. Have I read Psalm 107? I don't think I have. Let's do Psalm 107. I don't usually do the whole flip open the Bible, read the Bible kind of thing because, well, that's not very constructive. But Psalm 107 is right here and it is beautiful, so why don't we read it? I'm going to start with... I don't want to read it all because it's really long. Let's start with... So lift your hands and give thanks to God for His marvelous kindness and for His miracles and mercy for those He loves. Bring your praise as an offering and your thanks as a sacrifice. As you sing your story of miracles with a joyful song, some of us set sail upon the sea to faraway ports, transporting our goods from ship to shore. We were witnesses of God's power out in the ocean deep. We saw breathtaking wonders upon the high seas. When God spoke, He stirred up a storm, lifting high the waves with hurricane winds. Ships were tossed by swelling sea, rising to the sky, then dropping down to the depths, reeling like drunkards, spinning like tops. Everyone at their wits' end, until even sailors despaired of life, crying in terror. Then we cried out, "Lord, help us. Rescue us." And He did. God stilled the storm, calmed the waves, and He hushed the hurricane winds to only a whisper. We were so relieved, so glad as He guided us safely to harbor in a quiet haven. So lift your hands and give thanks to God for His marvelous kindness and for His miracles and mercy for those He loves. Let's exalt Him on high and lift up our praises in public. Let all the people and the leaders of the nation know how great and wonderful in Yahweh, our God. Whenever He chooses, He can dry up a river and turn the land into a desert, or He can take a fruitful land and make it into a saltwater swamp, all because of the wickedness of those who dwell there. But He can also turn a barren wilderness into an oasis with water. He can make springs flow in a desert land and turn them into fertile valleys so the cities spring up. And He gives it to all those who are hungry. They can plant their fields and vineyards there and reap a bumper crop and gather a fruitful harvest. God will bless them and cause them to multiply and prosper. But others will become poor and humble because of their oppression, tyranny, and sorrows. For God pours contempt upon the arrogant abuse of power, heaping scorn upon their princes, and makes them wander among ruins. But He raises up the poor and lowly with His favor, giving them a safe place to live where no one can touch them. God will grant them a large family and bless them. The lovers of God will rejoice when they see this. Good men are glad when the evil ones are silenced. If you are truly wise, you'll learn from what I've told you. It's time for you to consider these profound lessons of God's great love and mercy. So that's Psalm 107. Just a short little passage of it. I don't know. I find it really beautiful. The aspects of the ocean and the sea. And something I heard the other day was, God's love is not just a river, a trickle, a brook, a creek, as we say growing up. But God's love really is an ocean-wide deep. And out there in that deep, He's saving us in those storms. He's saving us from those hurricanes. He's stopping, the bad things, He's out there protecting us. And I don't know if you guys are going through storms or if you guys are, doing great. You're on a piece of driftwood, wondering, how much more you can take. And we've all been there. I've been there especially, you know. I've come a long way. And there's hope. There's promise. Someone yesterday really challenged me to think, like, why am I doing this? Why am I creating these videos? Why am I sharing God's love with you all? Well, honest truth, share God's light, yes. But what is the deeper message? What is the deeper meaning that I want you guys to get out of this? So I'm going to definitely puzzle and sort through that, I think, the next couple days, just to really figure it out. And then come back and be like, hey guys, you know, this is what we're going to do. You know, this is what's going to happen. And this is what I hope you guys get from it, you know. Like I say, it's not a me, myself, and I kind of thing. This is all of us, our whole world. The Lord is out there. He is moving. This world is shifting dramatically. We are going to see things that we've never seen before. I can definitely tell you that angelic presence has been so much lately. And God's doing something. And there's a great revival coming. Just not sure exactly when or what exactly it's going to look like. But God knows. God knows. And He's awesome. And He's got something awesome in store for us. But we have to be willing to trek through those waters. We have to be willing to go out and to wade through God's love, you know. Face those hard things. Overcome those difficult things. And come out, you know. What's what I'm trying to think of? You know, come out on the other side. You know, we don't come out on the other side per se unscathed, but we come out stronger, more beautiful, more enlightened to a point, I guess you could say, you know. God's out there, and He's going to take care of us, and He's got His guardian angels watching over us. And he's got all sorts of angels out there looking out for us and start, you know, working on the streets and into our homes. God is out there. He's moving, and something great is happening. But remember, you know, God is more than just a creek, than just a brook, than just a small little river. He's a swollen river, you know, overwhelmed by the rainfall, you know. He's so much more than we can even fathom or comprehend. But I hope that's encouraging. I don't know. But we're going to see what today brings. We're going to see what God has in store. And I'm excited to see, you know. There's lots I can share, but I definitely want to make this into a message for you all to be able to take with you each time and not just me rambling, as has been pointed out lately. But it's a work in progress. I'm still brand new at this. But I am excited to see what God has in store. And I can definitely tell you that there's some exciting things ahead for all of you guys. World, you're not alone. The world is shifting. The world we knew of it is not there right now. And maybe we can go back, and maybe we can't. Or maybe we don't want to. You know? I mean, nature is finding its place back where it belongs, you know? Not necessarily in the streets, per se, but, you know, nature is sorting itself out for the first time. And we are seeing astounding animals coming out of hiding for the first time since we've had this quarantine and this lockdown. And not just the United States. I mean, it's all over the world. Like, can you imagine it being so still that, you know, you're in the middle of a city and you can hear crickets? Like, I mean, I grew up in the countryside, and I had to go, you know, I can't even think of miles, so I'd say kilometers, away. You know, I could sit on the hill and I could hear, you know, the little frog peepers chirping. But I lived in the countryside. But there's still so much traffic and farm noise that, you know, there's still so much pollution of noise that I still had a hard time hearing. So imagine what it would be like to be in the middle of a city and hear crickets. Or that's what's happening. Or, you know, see, you know, animals wandering down the streets. You know, the world is rewriting itself. And maybe instead of us just wanting to go back to the way it was, maybe we need to learn how to live and work within the world's rightness. You know, we haven't seen that in a long time. Maybe now is the time that God is saying that we should really put away, you know, what we want or what was, and really lean into what He has. I like that. So I hope, world, that you are very blessed. And I hope that you are very encouraged. And don't try to change things the way they are. Learn how to live within it. Learn how to love within it. Learn how to be better. Learn how to be more conservative and more considerate. I mean, we aren't here on this planet alone. There are animals right outside our door, you know? But more than that, they're our neighbors, our family. And I think that's what it comes down to. You know, let's be considerate of this world. Let's take good care of this world. God made it for us. Why should we pollute it with noise? Why should we pollute it with, smog and fog and everything else? I mean, was not the Lorax story pointing enough of what can happen with that? There's so many people who've predicted and prophesied so many different things that are happening now. And those are just stories we grew up with. But they're becoming truth. Now, were they listening to God? Were they Christians? It's hard to say. Everyone's on their own journey. But God's been moving and working and setting this up for a long time. And even if this virus is not from his hand, which I don't think it is, but God knew it was still coming. And he was preparing us, preparing our hearts and our minds. And I can tell you it's hard. It really is. I've been doing a lot of grief through the loss of communication with people in physical form. But there have been some really cool, incredible blessings and such incredible joys and the ability to get creative just to see someone, and hang out. And it's like we're doing this quarantine style, But there's ways to laugh, to smile, to have joy within this. It's not all depressing. It's not all dark. This is not the end, guys. This is only the beginning. The Lord has so, so much in store. Let's learn how to live in this world. Let's learn how to live in it right. Let's learn how to live in it considerately. There's a lot to consider. And there's a lot, Let's show compassion. Let's show compassion today. To those around us, to the animals around us, to what God's created. I mean, last night was a gorgeous sunset. Beautiful dust display. Like one of the most stunning. And what's even more stunning, the roads are pretty empty. So I got to see it in full glory without all the traffic noise and all the cars in front of me. That was a pretty cool blessing. So look for the silver linings. Smile and laugh. Look for them. They're out there. All right, world. I love you. Remember, Psalms 107. It's a great passage. Swim in Jesus' love, It's there. It's waiting for you. Just fall. All right, Lord. All right, world. I love you. Bridge a hug. Bye.